Live, everyone.
We're live from where I live, so it makes it impossible to get home. It's like a 45-minute walk to my house. And so, like what?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just getting them all up and running, including.
Why are there three?
Well, one is Camfrog, and one is
I can't let
one
this
is
get warm,
another
right?
the live streaming service that can stream to multiple platforms at once. So like this is streaming to like Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, blah blah blah, all at once.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, googly eyes. So you should put some on her mug.
Come here,
What?
Leslie. What is your last name?
Where?
Oh my
like
God.
fashion.
Wait,
Leslie
what?
Ware.
Oh, like where?
Yeah,
like wear it.
W-A-R-E.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, it's too cold.
Did you change?
Someone
it to
says that this is leather.
you never
My
wanted to go
maiden
back.
name is Williams, but like I've published 3 books with Ware, so
Oh my
I have to do
God.
a keep it.
Did you bring the books to show?
I only have one, and it's like all beat up. But
wanna
I was
see
like,
it.
it's the only one.
Oh, that's
This is
one
the
of them?
one that I like the least, and the one that's like out of print in the USA.
Why did you bring that one?
Because it was the only one in my locker at the new school. I
That's
didn't
okay.
bring-
I'm like so happy to see it, but it's so funny that you're like, this is the one I hate. It's beat up, and you can't buy it.
Right.
How do
Well,
I-
it's still on Amazon, but I heard you have to pay a lot
How do I
more
turn
for
the
it
camera
now.
around?
But it's still selling in London.
Okay,
In the UK.
I don't want to talk any more about it right now because we're going to talk about it on the show.
Okay.
It's what always happens. I like talk too much, you know.
Damn it! How come I don't have other
So
books
cool.
here? So yeah, I just go through it myself. So I've been through like 5 of them. So it's just like a workbook.
It's cool.
Damn it!
What? I'm trying to figure out how to
Are
turn the
the other
camera
ones
around on
workbooks?
Paltalk. Hold on.
No.
How to what?
This
Turn
is
the
the
camera
only
around on
workbook.
Paltalk.
Oh.
It's looking up. Is this the button? No, that's full screen. Does this turn around?
Hey, 16 minutes.
It's so hard to figure out exactly what the different systems do.
And Peggy is going to do stand up.
Yeah, I believe she's gonna do stand up.
Stand up, my favorite.
Okay. Swap camera. Boom. There we go.
Jax, where do you do?
Nice.
Well, there are different types of like I do.
Oh no, you asked where I do stand up, and then you asked if I did stand up.
No, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I meant. Like, there's like storytellers. Like I. Host,
Oh yeah, I do stand up.
I host like game shows. And you know I love stand-up tragedy more than anything. I do like soliloquies, just like what I do.
Very Shakespearean of you.
Original soliloquies.
I wrote this character. I like don't do characters. Like I used to try, but I don't. And it was actually a great premise. You want to know what it is? Okay, I'll tell you. It's like Cinderella, and it's written in Elizabethan language, and she's like all the other princesses at the ball gets to like talk to the prince first. She's like the last one, and she's at the ball by herself. So she's like at the bar getting drunk. So she's like so drunk when she meets the prince. Isn't that funny? And she's like slurring all her words, and she's like, "Princess Charlotte, hey girl!" It's like it actually is like so funny. Okay, maybe I should like write a full script on it. I don't know.
Do it.
You think so?
Why not?
Like the real version of Cinderella, the untold version.
Even if you don't use it, it's still good to write it.
I also think it would be so funny to have a comedy written in Elizabethan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he put you to sleep, man.
Mm-hmm.
Who put you to sleep?
Almost everywhere you go.
Everywhere, like everywhere. Like I have a driveway, so
Good for you.
it's
What train? What like stop is that off of?
it's a D train 77th stop. It's far.
You.
No, I don't drink because I have stomach ulcers.
Okay.
It's like it's one of those things that just works out. Oh, I tried to get carnation.
Oh, that's great. I saw a lady like making flowers outside of a subway station earlier today, and they were $1 each.
You bought some?
No, but I was like, I'm gonna steal this idea. No, I'm just joking.
So I used to make them out of fondant. This reminds me of fondant.
So you're not going to be like playing. No, you're not. Not like a separate song by yourself.
I don't think so.
Okay, got it.
We'll see what happens.
You're not going to cover like Wonderwall or something.
Maybe.
Oh, and
If we all sing it, I'll give it a
Wait,
shot.
cover what?
Wonderwall.
Wonderwall? I gotta learn it.
What's Wonderwall?
You know.
Didn't you sing that at karaoke at the event? Remember the event?
Busted.
What song?
Oh yeah,
What's
I
that
love
song?
that
was a
song.
I don't know.
Oh my god, I
The
love
one where you
that
was
song.
like lost and that guy ran off the stage. That was a fun night.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh no, I sang Creep that night.
Oh yeah. Someone sang one.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Why are my eyes so up top?
Oh, because your mug had condensation from the cold
Oh,
inside, so it
okay,
wouldn't
okay.
stick. I know. I tried. You could probably duct tape them on. I found sticky tape.
Leslie, did you go to school for fashion?
Self-taught. I went to school for something completely different. I was like, I hate this shit.
So how did you get a job at the new school?
Well,
You want to talk about it on camera? Or
yeah, how did I get a job? So, we went for just like a visit with like my other museum job. And then the lady and then I brought one of my books because it was like right after my first book came out. So this must have been 2016. And I was like just so proud of that book. And I was like showing it to everybody. And then she remembered me. And then months later she emailed. It would have been like 4 years ago. And she so I had like 2, and then like when you walk in with books, people just like hire you because they're just like, oh, she can complete something. Like she must be
And
like.
how did you get? Oh, well, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
I'm gonna write a
And I
fucking book.
like
Yeah, I
got
want
the
a
book
book.
deal because I just like broke into Book Expo, and like just had 2 pages of ideas and just started talking to publishers. So I just kind of went around the agent
What is
and like.
what is Book Expo?
So it happens every year in June, and the publishing industry kind of go for like a big conference. And so I like had my friend Melissa do like a layout. And I was just like, are you accepting unsolicited manuscripts? And a lot of them said no. But like my number 1 publisher, who is Lawrence King, said yeah. And then I showed them the spreads, and they're like, "Oh my God, we like this. Email this lady in London Monday
That's
morning."
crazy.
And then like 6 months later, I had my first book deal.
What?
Amazing.
We have to
Wow.
talk because I really want a book.
Yeah,
It
I
was
would
actually
love
like
to
my
talk.
goal for this year, but I like kind of let that go to get a deal. But it's okay because I'm doing other things. Like, you know, I'm doing Goodnight tonight, and
Goodnight tonight.
but I want the kind of book everyone has, like a book of essays. But I am a storyteller, and I have a lot of like credits.
Just applied for like this because I have this. You can do
That's
it.
what actually I'm working on right now is a book of
Victor's
essays.
working on a book of
You are?
essays.
Yeah,
Do you have a deal, or you're just...
No,
No.
but I have a couple of agents.
Wait,
who,
what is it about?
What?
What is it about?
A book of just about my life and growing up. It's based on like, I guess the popularity of my Vice article. But it's kind of helped.
What is your Vice article?
I wrote an article for Vice about just like growing up and being an asshole.
Growing up being an asshole?
Pretty well. That's pretty much what it is. Basically, it's about growing up. It's about I wrote an article about growing
I
up,
was raised asshole.
and then how everybody was like, as a person who was born legally blind or with albinism, this is what your life is going to be like. And at one point, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do my own thing, and I just started, and that's what the article's about.
When did the article come out?
It was like last year.
2018.
And did you pitch it to them, or how did that happen?
Yeah, I pitched it to them.
I used to like write like sex and dating stories for Cosmo,
What happened to my
and I
number?
was like
You didn't get
Cosmo's
it?
like woman
No.
on the street.
Why?
Yeah.
You hate me?
But that
You
kind
hate
of
me?
like all my contacts
Fuck.
at Cosmo have left.
Oh, really?
But yeah,
Just fart.
I mean, hopefully I'll get a TV show. Who fucking knows? But I think if I get a TV show, I'll get a book. Because I have like a breakup
It'll
game
be
show.
book after you.
Yeah, right? I just breakup game show, but I have like a lot more heartfelt stories about dating, and which is what my last show was, and what my next show. I feel like people would want like the other side of the coin from the breakup queen.
Hello, Wilmer Peterson. What's up?
Don't you
Sorry.
feel like people would want to hear that?
Yeah, I think so.
What did you just say?
It's so hard, like trying to get people to like know you exist and that you're good.
Oh, by the way,
Can you play chopsticks?
I've been wanting to like produce this segment for you called "Would You Wear This?" and I just
No.
haven't
Yeah, you
had
can say
time.
that. You
So
want
I
to
have
That's
like the first bag of garments. So at the end of our segment, I'll pull them out one at a time, and then you just say yes and no, and then where
Nice.
you would wear it.
Oh,
Or
wow.
not.
Wow.
Does that make or we can change it?
Is that-
No, it makes sense. But am I saying where? Because that's your last name.
or just like if you
I love
say
it.
no, we just. More things out the top of the box, but I just like
I
buy
love it.
weird shit.
Okay, great. I would
Nice, nice.
keep it there, and then when you want to play it, Jackson can hand it over.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
And I have like
Ooh.
Yeah, do it.
We're gonna put Eddie Murphy. What happened? This used to be on the wall.
Oh, thumbtack.
He said,
Who
You
knows?
don't like this?
What? That's a great picture.
It's great.
This is Arsenio Hall,
He
right?
goes, "What
Yes,
is
that
it?"
is Arsenio Hall.
Can we open this? Like we all want to be like
Excuse
Eddie
me.
Murphy
Oh, nice.
level.
Carly from the streets. Straight up streets, Carly.
I have washi tape if that'll help.
Balloons. Nice. So we're gonna start in about 5 minutes, everybody.
Yes. Where does
everybody-
everyone live? Where do you live?
Hoboken.
You like it?
Nice.
Yeah.
Bath Train.
That train.
And then Jax lives in Bensonhurst.
Yeah,
Are
three
you
lists.
still in Bensonhurst?
Yeah.
You guys
Ridgewood, Bushwickish,
off the L or off the other one?
L.
Oops. As I burn the studio down.
Oh my God, you guys know that somebody got struck by the L train.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know. Just check your route home tonight because they were making an announcement saying it was like not running in certain areas and blah blah blah.
Oh my god, he's like a seal. Look at this.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, he's.
He was bouncing off his nose.
That's amazing.
This is ending television.
This is no one can even see you. You're cut off. You're out of frame.
Oh no.
Well, I guess I have no one to update about on the guy I went on a date with because you guys weren't even following the saga, and everyone who was is now I guess fired from the show. This is what happens a lot.
Are we caught up?
I'm gonna add something else to this thing.
But I was like, is he gonna text me? He hadn't text me. Blah, blah, blah. And then he asked me for my number because we were talking on Instagram. And or should I save this for the show? What's like a good second date, everybody?
Oh, you went on a date with? Wait. Is it? Did you meet the guy at that place?
No, at the museum. No,
What
but I
is
did
it
have a
this
great
second?
time. So, is there like a non? It's only a second date though, and
Jack said food.
on the first date for me is like just moving too fast. I
That's
gotta
what
go.
I used to do. In
I have to go
DC, just, like, go out
slow.
to eat with people.
I just love eating with people.
I love eating. Have you guys been to L and B Spumoni Gardens?
In Bensonhurst, my neighborhood, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you go there all
I've
the
been to
time?
L&B, yeah.
But
I got called a nigger for the first time.
Whoa, what?
Second time
Oh,
in
in
Bensonhurst. So I don't
okay,
go
Leslie,
back
we're talking
there.
about
Kinda
pizza.
sucks. Well, it's honestly Chinatown now, so I don't think anyone's gonna say that.
There was a Chinese
Are you
lady walking
serious?
by and
Yeah,
she took
Chinatown.
off running. Because I was like, oh, there must be two dudes fighting. Because I heard nigger. And I was
Jeez.
like, whoa. And I
But it
like
was
looked and there
you?
was like an old white guy in a suit and he was like pointing at me
Holy
shaking.
fuck.
And I was headed to an interview at a high school to teach fashion design. And so I was like, do I get back on the train and go to my interview? And I was like, I'm from Muskegon. I'm tough. I'm going to go to the interview. And then I told the principal at the school, and she did not have a solution. And I was like, I can't take this job.
She didn't have a solution to what?
I was like, I just got called a nigger by some old dude in a white suit when I was getting off the train. Like, does this happen normally? Like, what should I do? And she was just like... No, exactly. And it was an international high school, too, which was, like, the irony of it. So I was like, if she doesn't have anything to say to help me, like, I don't want to work here.
That's really admirable.
I've had a lot of situations like that in my life where I was like, I can't work here.
And look
But
at
that's
you.
why
You're
I'm
like,
poor.
No, you're not poor. You have like all these cool jobs. And you have
Thank
3
you.
books.
Yeah, it's pretty.
You are?
One.
Wow, you look like you're 3.
Like 42.
Even though I hate when people say that. I hate when people
Someone
say,
thought she was in her 20s.
Which
when
I'm
we-
like, I don't know why. I
She's
think
like,
it's my
you have great
stature
skin.
and my voice.
No, I think you have great skin and you're fashionable.
Thank you.
But I do.
And it's working with kids keeps you young and
Mhm.
living in New York.
It's your
Because when I
attitude.
go home,
Mhm.
I see my classmates and I'm like, how are you missing 4 teeth? Like, we all graduated in 96.
Yeah.
Skull Candy, thank you for the cherry. Very nice of you. We're about to start the show.
Should I
Well-
exit frame?
What?
Should I exit frame? Or should I just stand over here? Or should I just sit if it's going to be on him?
Oh, wait. How do we lock the mic on Pal Talk? Hold on a second.
God, I'm always so hungry when I'm here because this is like dinner
It is.
time.
Nachos.
I tried to eat, man. Okay. Should I just sit here?
Well, there's a way to lock this mic. I'm not sure. Here, see if you can figure out how to lock the mic. Because we gotta
Okay.
go. We gotta go.
We gotta go.
Locking the mic.
What does it mean?
We're
Well,
locking the
it's
mic. We're
on
live.
when it's on, it's
live,
on.
you guys.
When like when you hit it, it's on. But then
It's
there's a way to lock it. Hold on
live,
a second.
everybody.
Push up to lock.
And okay, here. Okay,
All right.
here.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is for real.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Goodnight Tonight with your host, Carly and Philbin! Yeah, there she goes. Look at her running in a circle. She must be excited. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Guys, I'm Carly Ann Philbin. Welcome to Goodnight Tonight, the only late night talk show that is in the middle of the day. We're so excited to be here. I just want to introduce real quick, before I forget his name, Steve, our house band.
Yeah. Steve Rosenthal.
Steve Rosenthal. I knew his last name. I really didn't know his last name. Yes, as I said, my name is Carly, and you guys, I gotta tell you guys something. I'm house sitting right now, and so my responsibilities, I have to feed and walk a dog 3 times a day. I feed not. It's actually very difficult, and it made me realize, like I used to think I want a dog. Do you have a dog, Steve?
No.
Do you have an animal?
No.
Okay. Well, okay.
The
I know,
internet is
I know.
running.
Easy.
Keep with us, stay with us, but I would not be able to take care of an animal. And it made me think, like, I'm not an adult. What age did you feel like you were an adult? Or do you not feel like you're an
45.
adult? Really?
Yeah.
So when you were like 31, did you feel like an adult?
No.
Here's my problem. I perpetually feel like I'm 21. And I think it's bad. Because I'm like, I have all the time in the world, but I don't. Because I'm a lot older than 21.
Right.
Jax, what about you? Jax, our producer,
Hi.
sitting behind the cameras. Do you feel like an adult?
Sometimes.
Do you think, sometimes I feel like we'll never feel like an adult.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what 1K is?
Yeah.
What is it? What
It's
is
a savings plan set up by your job.
it? Okay, Jax, you are right. But what if you don't have a job?
So what if you're me?
And what if you're me?
Yeah.
Like, It's really scary. Do you have a 401k?
Yes.
He
But
looks
like, are
he
you
has a
guys ever
401k.
worried that you're never going to be able to retire? I know I'm starting the show on a low note, but do you guys think you'll be able to retire?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really? You're like saving money every month. You're making that much money.
I don't save enough money every month personally, but I do own intellectual properties that continue to be licensed.
What does that mean?
That means that it's basically like I own real estate, but media.
He has assets.
Yeah, I have assets.
I don't have assets except for my face and my body. Anyway, so that's where I am right now. Because sometimes I'm just like, should I have been somewhere else at this point in life? You know? No, you guys.
You mean
all-
like in ancient Egypt?
Yeah, I'm like, should I have time traveled back to ancient Egypt? No, I'm like, should I have a family? Should I have a husband? But I'm really glad to be here. It takes my money.
Talk about adulting?
Well,
Did
Yeah.
you want those things?
no.
So no. So the answer is no.
I guess I want to own property. I guess I want to, like, here's, or like close
How old
to
is that?
17 or close to my age. It's like you either have like kids and a family and you're going that route, or you have a career and money, and it's like hard to have neither. Like I would be happy with like a huge mansion, like laying in my pool by myself. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want, but I don't have any money. So anyway, my Venmo is CarlyAnn-Philbin, and I'm kind of money. They did a Kickstarter for
Yeah.
it, and they made so much fucking money.
He's got to hit that chord, that irony chord, just right.
Yeah.
Potato salad.
Yeah,
Somebody did a
it made
Kickstarter
like
for
Did they
potato
make
salad.
$90,000 or something like that, even or more.
I love potatoes.
Yeah. What are people commenting?
I'm looking.
Yes, but I don't know what they're talking about.
What did they say?
They said, is 2 times the limit. I need to know before tomorrow. Thanks.
2 times of
I'm
what?
just gonna go ahead and say 2 times is the limit.
Yeah.
Just 2 times and get. Especially if you have a short period of time. I'm house sitting right now, so I have a limited amount of clothing I can wear. But I should not be. And then like tying this shirt, like I should be in a blazer or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I should. Thank you.
You have a show.
I'm doing a show.
Yes.
Okay. See, thank
I know.
you for the tough love. I love how you're like, I would hate if you were like, yeah, do what you want, but you're like, no, dress like an
It's to
adult.
have some respect for your own intellectual property.
I know, but can I also say that it is very hard, and maybe the women in the room can attest to this. Is it not hard to dress in the summer as a woman?
Hell yeah.
It is the
Look at
hardest.
me.
Sweating.
Yes, and it's just hard. So I have a great fall wardrobe, Steve. You would love it. You're gonna love it.
Mhm.
But right now, first of all, you know I'm house sitting, and everyone will tell
I
you
heard.
for the 8 episodes we've done prior, I've worn like a cute dress. I'm like cute.
Oh, dark.
Dark.
I know, but right now this is just what I'm doing. Do you have any kids?
No.
And are you happy about that?
I'm alright.
And did you like? Is this how you thought your life would play out? Did you think you were gonna have kids?
I sort of thought I was going to have kids.
And you're okay with not having kids?
Sure.
You kind of wish you had kids.
It would be nice to have kids.
Okay. Sorry about that. What about you guys? Are you guys having
This
kids?
is the darkest.
What?
I know, this is like,
What?
hey guys, we're gonna have fun. Anyway, do you guys feel like you shouldn't be living? No, I'm kidding. No, of course you should be. Okay, we should move on to current events because that's less depressing than my personal life, ironically. All right, what do you guys got for me and Stevie?
Oh, Toni Morrison died.
Toni Morrison died.
Oh.
Yeah.
An author, the author,
88 though.
the
so
author that
that's
we all know and love.
from 7th grade.
So, how did she die? Can I
She's
sit
8.
down? Is there
I think that's appropriate. Yeah, she's 88 years old. So
So just like
Oh,
old
way
age,
other.
it says.
Mm-hmm.
Just like old age, she didn't. Nothing
I
happened.
don't know. I haven't. Let me check it out.
Life expectancy's like 82, so.
So I don't.
Life
Everyone's so
expectancy is
sad. I'm like,
82?
she's 88.
But what if you
like-
do yoga?
Yeah, exactly. Get your
Wait,
numbers
we're
up.
only supposed to live into our mid 80s,
Early 80s.
early 80s.
Yeah.
I thought it was at
Yeah,
least like
bonus.
mid 90s.
Well, it used to be like our 40s and 50s, so, you know,
Yeah, early 80s
who
is
knows?
pretty
Sky's
good.
the limit for the future.
Those were the days.
My dad is 85, and he had me when he was almost 50.
Yeah, but how old was your mom?
29.
My mom was
Jim Morrison. What did you say?
Your mom was 46 when she had you. You guys
What
don't
did
know
you
who's
say?
speaking
Jim-
later,
it's Jim
later.
Morrison.
That is so.
She's like a trailblazer.
That gives
Keep
me
in
so
mind,
much
you
hope
can't
because
see
I'm
better
like,
than-
can I? Okay. All right. So Toni Morrison died. Who does Toni Morrison? Who's the other Morrison?
Jim Morrison?
Jim.
Yeah.
None of
They're
our
not
watchers know
related.
who Jim Morrison is, but he's the singer.
This guy does.
Oh, what is,
Someone mentioned Jim Morrison.
who is
Oh.
Jim Morrison? What does he sing?
He sang a lot of stuff with the
He
Doors.
sang the Doors.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
His lead singer of the Doors.
See, Steve's a big
Are you
fan.
from another planet?
I didn't know. People
No,
are saying the
no.
Doors on
Yeah.
camera. I really,
Yeah.
really.
Are you guys mad at me? You guys.
Hey, Joe wanted to buy a
Don't.
watch. Is not happy with you right now.
You guys, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. I'm kind of out it because I've been listening, but also had a very long train ride, and also I don't know everything, but I do know a lot of stuff that you guys don't know. For
Whoa!
example, do you know Mbop was released nationwide on April 15th, 1997?
What
Mbop.
Twitter? I am not personally looking on Twitter right now.
Okay, what about
I'm
Leslie?
looking on camera.
Okay, so our producers who are supposed to
The
be shooting me-
shootings.
No, we're not. Kim.
Okay.
No, we don't want
The
to talk
shooting.
about the shooting.
That's a lot of shooting.
Yes, everything's terrible in that era. I mean, the Democratic debates are still
In that
pushing.
era? In that era?
In this era.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
In that area is what I was going to say, but I was kind of saying era and area.
Uh-huh.
Then I said that area, but I said that
Okay,
things
got
are
it,
terrible
got it.
in that area.
Okay,
That's
cool.
what I'm saying. But the
well-
Democratic debates are still happening. They had another set of Democratic debates last week.
Yeah, we talked about that last week, though.
Talk about this.
Okay. Victor has taken some time off from the program. We didn't know. We already spoke about the debates. So honestly, it seems like nothing really is going on besides the bad stuff.
Well, that's a big thing. There's so many terrible things. Like the thing I was fixated on the news today was these two police officers led a black man. Two white police officers led a black man to his confinement. They were on horses. He was in handcuffs, and they had a rope leading from like a leash on his handcuffs, and they're taking him like basically through town.
What the fuck?
I know, it's insane.
Where was that? Do you know what state?
I don't remember what. I think it was
I
like
just wanna
Georgia.
watch.
I'm going to say Georgia because it just fits.
A state that would be bad to do that.
But I think it was something like that. It was something like that.
I must
It
tell
wasn't
everybody
like Detroit.
watching that we do current events every single
Oh, it was
show.
Galveston, Texas.
Of
It
course,
was in Texas.
Yeah.
So we do current events every show, and for some reason this show, Victor, I guess, felt like he didn't need to look up any events. Usually there are people on their phone telling me the events, and
Wait, let's-
I
There's
guess,
not
like-
much. They want to make video games illegal.
Oh yeah, which is total bullshit. Oh, but because it's relating to the shooting. Here's when Trump said Toledo instead of Dayton.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And it was read, which I shop at all the time. It's totally within
The
my
dinosaur?
budget. I don't have a 401k, but I do shop at Barney's. Yeah, it went bankrupt. So what does that mean, Leslie? Does that mean it's like no longer going to exist?
Well, they're trying to figure it out, so they've been afforded a little.
Barney's
bit
is like high
I
end.
know, and it was the first place where I found a pressed powder in the 8th grade that was like my right color. And so
You
I
went
was,
to Barney's in the 8th grade for makeup?
I was on a trip
Wow.
with my middle school in DC.
Barney's?
and we
I
went
was
to
at
43.
I'm sorry to interject. What's NARS?
NARS is a
brand.
cool makeup
Cosmetic.
brand that I would say is above MAC, but at Barney's would be the bottom of the barrel.
all sounds like
but
gibberish.
I thought I was doing something very special.
No, you did. First of all, NARS is expensive. That pressed powder was probably $30.
Yeah, and I was working at
A
Wendy's.
compact. Remember we would all have compacts in our back pockets, but you were working at Wendy's, and that's when you knew you had to get into fashion. We can't talk anymore about fashion because she is a guest. Sorry.
I worked at Wendy's.
You did?
Yeah.
Look at that.
First time.
Bonding.
We're both Wendy's grads.
Yeah,
I love
Wendy's.
that. And
I was
God.
15. I was the fry girl.
I was 16. I was the drive-through.
Oh, this is the beginning of a movie.
Yeah.
Trevor07 says, "What up, Carly Ann? Your future date speaking."
Okay, Trevor.
Oh, there you go.
Trevor, how old are you, and what's your current job, and what's your ambition? Like, what do you want to do? Name one ambition.
You did. Future
Date you.
Yeah.
That's what he said?
Yeah. it's-
Honestly, Trevor, thank you so much because, as you know, loyal. I was dating, but for 2 years.
Wow. Trevor says, "I am 38 and a businessman."
Yes,
Oh.
Trevor!
Businessman.
Businessmen always say that they're businessmen.
Right.
That's a thing that always happens.
What kind of?
Businessmen are like, I'm a businessman.
He's a
You
30-year-old.
are? I'm a baker.
I love that. I
do
love that.
business.
There's actually a fight
Danger is my
happening.
business.
People gotta get away from my woman.
Yeah.
People like me because
Yeah.
good, because people were mad at me because of Tony Moore or the Doors or I don't know.
Nah, they don't
you know.
care.
Okay, we're over it.
Trevor's
Carly,
good.
it's time for your first guess.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, thank you guys for sharing
Not
the
me,
news with
though.
No, I know who it is. Look.
I know it's not you.
Okay, so welcome our first guest. You guys have seen him before. You recently just saw him give me the finger. You can see him perform comedy all over. He has a show on Camprog called NYC Talent Show, and he's my first guest. I can't exactly pronounce his last name, but his first name is Victor!
There he is.
Wow. Victor, you dance like a Muppet.
Nice.
And I did notice your fiance was the only one who really enjoyed that dance. So, Jax, is the frame on me?
Yes.
Okay. Victor, can you say your last
It's a
name?
frame
Is it
on you.
Varnado?
Yeah, it is Varnado, Carly Ann Philbin.
Okay, well, I don't know. So, Victor Varnado.
You don't know? We've been working together for weeks.
Sorry, it feels like days. What's your middle name?
Curtis.
Do you like it or not?
Well,
Victor Bernardo, or what is it?
the name Curtis, it has an ironic space in my life.
Why?
Because my father's name is Curtis Varnado. My name is Victor Curtis Varnado. My older brother's name is Philip Timothy Curtis Varnado. I have a younger brother named Curtis Varnado Jr. My dad has 14 kids by 8 different women. So, it's a weird place.
14 kids by 8 different women?
Yes, that's a lot, right?
Are you close with the other 13?
I'm close with a lot of them, yes.
Do you see each other on holidays or anything?
Yes, we do.
And how are were those women wives or who were they?
Some were what? My mother was his first wife. And then he had 3 kids with her.
Okay.
And then he
It
went
went
on to,
downhill.
just try to build, sports teams with his
Like
sperm.
a Mormon or something.
Sure.
And you have a close relationship with him, or what's that
My
about?
dad, I'm working on it. I'm figuring out, there was a time when I was, not happy with my dad.
Of course.
But now I'm happier with my dad, so... Well, not happier, but I'm just, more forgiving, I guess.
That's
Probably more accurate.
that's the thing.
Definitely. I mean, at least in this case, because he's not changing at this
No,
point.
and they won't.
No, he's just...
When I was maybe 20, I thought paid from your parents.
Oh,
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
That's what I was looking into it for real. I had
When you were 22?
yeah.
Wasn't that too late?
Yes.
No, no, it's
It
not.
is too late.
It is
It's
18.
too late.
Is the
But I
cut?
didn't want
You
to
don't
be.
need to.
Why is it too late?
Because they're legally not your guardians anymore after 18. You're an adult.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't want to be related to them. They had fucked up my childhood so significantly. It was bad, and it took a lot of. A lot of therapy, and it just made me realize I have to be the forgiver. My mom's too old; she's too set in her ways,
Right.
and nothing's gonna change. I can't lose.
On
No.
the version of yourself in the past. That happened in Butterfly Effect.
You know what I was just listening? Don't get mad at me. Everyone's going to get mad at me when I say this, but I was just listening to a podcast about Twilight, the vampire saga.
I am furious.
Well, I'm trying to write some jokes about Twilight. But anyway, and I don't want to go back and watch the movies.
All right.
But do you guys remember that Jacob, the werewolf, imprints, which basically means like finds his soulmate in Bella's baby. So when
Yeah.
he's like 20, he falls in love with a newborn.
I did not.
You know that?
No, I don't
Get
know
that
anything.
far.
I don't know anything about Twilight beyond a perfunctory knowledge of the first film. I don't know much more about Twilight because when I was watching the first film and I saw Twilight, I was like, this looks like a music video, and then they were sparkling in the sun. I was like, what is this
You
movie?
have to love it for what it is. You have to love it for what it is, like 50 Shades of Grey. You can't love it.
Whoa,
for
I don't
what
like
it
that
isn't.
either.
But you can't. I'm just saying you can't compare it to something else. It's its own thing. You just have to love the campiness of it.
I do not love the campiness of it. And
Okay.
I think
And
that
that's fine. But
it
you've never
crosses
seen
over
it.
the campy line into just garbage.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well.
I want to tell you a story.
That's awkward.
And you're in
sometimes, like,
Pluto Nash, so you know.
I do.
When
I
it
know.
Walter
crosses
doesn't even
exactly
try
where
I
it
know.
goes.
I played the villain in Pluto Nash where Eddie Murphy was fighting the
Yeah.
mafia on the moon. Okay?
Yeah, and that's too.
I know
Twilight is
campy.
too-
It's like I guess I try to do with things I hate.
Yeah.
I still like love to hate them, but I try to find a way in. Like, why does this matter to people and things like that. So I love, like, there's a part of me that loves Twilight because I remember when I was reading it, like, which was again yesterday.
You read it?
I read all the books.
Wow.
I would stay up to 3 a.m. like holding my eye open. I think it's just because I am like a self-actualized New York City woman, but this brought out this like other part of me that's just like a high schooler drama wants to be like fought over, and I really I guess related to that.
I mean, I get that. I mean, I've read novels
like
which are
rom-coms
terrible.
or anything?
I've read novels which are terrible. I read this series of novels called Casca. It was about the undying. It's basically this guy who was crucified at the same time Christ was, got hit with some of Christ's blood,
You guys
and
mad
then
about
became
this?
an undying soldier. He couldn't be killed, living throughout time. And so there are a bunch of different novels of him at different times, like now I'm in World War II, I'm still alive, I haven't learned a lesson.
I hit like
Yes, he did.
23.
Yes, he did. It was called Casca, C-A-S-C-A. You can look it up right now if you felt
But don't.
Also, I read a lot of Pierce Anthony.
I don't know who that is.
He wrote this book, which was great, called A Spell for Chameleon. It is a great fantasy novel. There's nothing you can ever say that, like, you'll read it and you're like, this is great. However,
Well, Victor, we're having you on the show today because
Yeah.
we heard you got a fun little, crazy, interesting, unbelievable, wild story for us.
I do have a funny, interesting, crazy, you won't believe wild story for you.
Wow, so you are listening, even though you're a man.
What are you
so
saying?
why don't you,
then-
Leslie, stop like smiling at his like mediocre jokes. Like, don't do that.
Yo, she's on my joke team already. This is it.
She's on your
We're
joke
getting married.
team.
We're getting married. She
has
likes my
to
jokes.
laugh. No, she's attached
It's
to
happened.
you.
It is happened.
She's attached to you, and she's dealing with your jokes. Okay, so let's read the story. Would you also mind if I interjected for clarification?
Absolutely. I wouldn't mind at all.
Steve,
I would
if
not
you
mind at
wanna
all.
Underscore, pivotal points. You
Yeah,
can-
Steve, sure.
We love it.
There
We
you
love
go,
it.
Steve. It's happening.
Okay, Vicky.
Are you guys having trouble with the camera?
The keyboard won't go away.
Oh, the keyboard will go away. There's a back. There's a back button. Hold on. Let me help you out there.
All
Oh, it's
Oh, what'd
gone.
you? Oh no, this came up now.
Okay, so back. We want to get back to Cam Frog.
Oh.
Here we go. Boom. There we go. We're back on Cam Frog.
Ah, there.
All
we go.
right.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Tech superstar, everybody. That's how I do it. So this weekend I went to a wedding with Leslie, we went to a wedding, and the time that we got back from the wedding impeded my ability to go to this
Annually.
exactly.
Here.
All right.
What is the softball tournament?
It is called the Hackers and Humor Softball Tournament. Hacks and Humor Softball Tournament. It's all these New York comedians put on by this great guy. His name is Dave Lester, also a funny comedian.
And also, I wasn't invited.
Right. And so there's 7 teams in this year. And then as soon as we pull into Port Authority, coming back from this wedding upstate, I hightail it to be part of the softball tournament. When you get to the softball tournament, I get there just as my team has been disqualified for being the lowest scoring team in the first round. So they're just
What do they say?
excellent comedian who passed away this last year. So and he had this thing
This is a sad
associated with
show.
him called Bird Luger. And then
Okay.
we were called the Bird Lugers. And so we were named after him.
Yeah, you did already say that.
I know, but I was just trying to say where it came from. You want me to explain it again so you get it?
No, I got it.
Okay.
One.
And then, so I got there and we were just, yeah, and then Rebecca Trent, who owns the Creek in the Cave, which we're
Which is
at
where we
right
are.
now, we were hanging out and we ate some chicken because there was a barbecue as well.
Okay.
And then we walked over to where the main games were happening with all the teams who were still in the
Let
tournament.
me ask you a question.
Yes.
Was there a point to this tournament, or was it just fun? Were you raising money for anything, or purely fun?
I don't know all the details. Dave would know all the details, but I think it's mostly just fun.
Did you pay to be involved in it?
You pay $40 a person, you get a shirt, blah blah blah. But I think
You
the
get a
Creek in the
shirt for
Cave,
one
the Creek
day?
in the Cave paid for. Yeah, we have a shirt. I have a shirt that says my team name
Wow.
and my number on
And
the
a
back.
For
number.
one day?
13.
13.
Yeah.
Does everybody have a different number?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so you're eating chicken.
We're eating chicken. We talked to Dave Lester. Dave walks over and is like, "Victor, glad you made it. Ha ha. And your team's
Ha ha.
disqualified." And Rebecca
Ha ha.
says to me, "Hey, wouldn't it?"
Where was the trophy?
The trophy was over back by the barbecue.
Okay.
With everybody was around. There's a big table of people.
Okay, sorry, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Was the tournament over, or like the
No,
good
it was in the
teams were
middle of
still
the tournament.
playing?
The
Okay,
good
got
teams
it.
are still playing.
Okay, got it.
Middle of the tournament, Prospect Park.
And you
So we
know
walked
that's
back
where I
over to
live.
the picnic
I live
tables.
right by Prospect Park.
We walked back over to the picnic tables, and then I start asking. I said, Rebecca, "Where's your car?" And over there, stuff that she's like has at the gathering, and then we. By the way, we're both really high. Okay, then so we're sitting there and everyone's around the table, and Rebecca is pretty respected in the comedy community, and I'm respected in the comedy community, and so that's what we think. That's why we think we're able to get away.
Okay. Steve has not decided to underscore any of this. Okay, go on.
It's fine. Steve is wrapped with.
Yeah,
He
I know.
just
Okay.
wants to know the story. With the trophy on it, I grab it, I turn around, I'm like, "Walk with me. Slowly, don't look back." So we start walking like we have purpose. And absolutely nobody stops us. However, we did hear later on that while we were walking away, I believe it was Dave Lester's girlfriend, the organizer, and said, "Hey, is someone doing something with the trophy right now?" And he said, "Someone just got injured. I'll call you back." Hung up on her.
Wait, okay, so then what happened? Where did you guys go? You left the party, the barbecue?
We left.
Just
after
for
we
the joke?
after we'd eaten the barbecue.
Was
we
Leslie
hopped
there?
in the car. No, Leslie was not there.
So you left, like, you were having fun with all your friends, and you're like, it doesn't matter, we'll sacrifice the fun because for this joke.
Exactly.
Okay, so
That's how I roll. I love
Okay.
jokes.
So where did you guys go? And what happened?
We went to the Creek in the Cave,
Of course.
and we posted online a video of first of all, I posted. I had a video. I made a video of myself right before we stole it. I was like, "We're about to steal this trophy. I don't know if this is gonna work." And then I made a video later when we were, which was addressed to Dave Lester, which said, "Hey Dave, we got disqualified, but we did steal the trophy." And I showed him the trophy. And I was like, "If you want the trophy back, please come to my show tonight at Creek in the Cave." And he didn't come that night, but we did have the trophy on stage the entire time at the show.
So were people pissed? Why?
Because he said that a lot of people have gotten too serious about the tournament,
Yeah.
and it's a bunch of comedians, and nobody has, and everybody was like taking it very seriously, and people were getting injured and whatever.
Because they're comedians, they don't do physical activity.
Well, I mean, some do. Just like everybody else. Some are physical, some are not, right?
God, you're a bad improviser. You should have just been like, ha ha ha, you're right.
You're right.
Yes,
okay, go ahead.
and
Just
some
say it
do.
again.
Thank you.
Rewind.
Yes,
Say
and
it again.
no,
say it
you chose
again.
not
Just
to.
say it again.
No, go on.
Come on, Carly.
Okay, so then you injected the lightheartedness into the.
Ha ha ha! You're right.
Listen, where did you just go?
To the scariest place in the creek.
The bathroom.
And I like knocked on the door and said, "Well, come in."
There's Craigslist misconnection.
I always say I won't go to the bathroom.
But he
And I
said,
had to unzip this jumpsuit.
I'm wearing
It
a
almost fell in
jumpsuit.
the trash can.
The funny thing is, when she takes it off at night, always covered in feces. That's what I think about it. Just always. Feces
And so
everywhere.
we love having you on the show. So then who won the tournament?
I think their team was called the Closers. Because it's all comedians, so somebody called them one team called the Closers. Exactly. I'm with you. But we did steal it. He thanked us, and he said it was the prank of the century, and he thought it was really funny.
Prank
But
of
I
the
also made sure that he got drinks for free, when he came.
I
And
love
then-
how you sound like that's Rebecca's offer.
Actually, it was my offer.
You
I have
paid
a
for
video.
them?
I have a video where I offer, and I say, "Hey, I'll buy."
I know,
drinks."
but did you pay for the drinks?
No, but sort of. Sort of.
Okay.
He has a tab.
I do have a tab.
So wait, what do you mean sort of? Do you have to settle the tab eventually?
And pay tip.
I have a tab with the creek. You're all on it.
Or someone just gets me.
You're wrong.
And you know what time it is. Chips and salsa. Chips and salsa.
Maybe we can figure that out.
Yeah, well, let's start it today. Because here's the thing. You guys know you're watching it live right now. It's probably like about 6 o'clock.
Right.
It's almost dinner time. So I bet some of you guys are preparing dinner or you're ordering dinner right now on the internet.
Mhm.
And so I have one drink and I need to choose something.
To answer your question, though,
Oh, I forgot what it was.
so only one person was actually mad. And the thing was, when
Who
we
was
were
that?
leaving,
Oh,
we
just
didn't
like a-
know. We didn't know if Dave was going to be mad or not, because Dave is kind of like a man's man, so he will punch people in the face.
Okay.
But I thought he would think it was funny. I wasn't sure, but I thought it was funny enough to take the risk, and I was completely willing to take a punch
You
in the
have
face
to. It's
if
a-
it happened.
It's a softball tournament. It's a sporting event run by comedians. Like, nobody should be taking that seriously.
That's what I thought, but
Yeah.
apparently a lot of people do.
Like, of course there were a bunch of injuries.
Yes.
The only thing people run for is, like, the train.
Okay. Sure.
You
What happened?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but your alarm actually went off and said, "Did you do push-ups today?"
I have a daily alarm that reminds me whether or not I did push ups. Yeah.
So glad it happened. With that.
Well, I don't agree with people that I don't agree with.
I made a joke though, and if you made a joke as a comedian, I would I'd either agree with you or I would try to be disagree in a funny way. But you're like,
No,
sometimes
you don't. You say, "I can't believe you're
I'm
laughing."
saying.
Hey, don't laugh at his jokes. That's what you do.
comedians, and you're like, okay,
I know. I said okay. That's true.
all right,
'Cause I didn't agree with
thank you.
In the least.
So you think they all work out?
No, not all of them.
You think a lot of them work out?
I would say maybe 30%.
Okay, so that I think the joke still stands. If the 30% don't work out.
I have to send a letter to the tribunal before I can actually get a judgment.
You're right. We shouldn't say anything on the show that we haven't fact checked. And thank you for that.
Facts.
So thank you for coming on the show. Are you?
I'm not done telling you the story.
Wait, Joe. Hey, Joe. Want to watch? Says Victor. She wants you to get off stage. Keep talking.
Jack,
Thanks, hey Joe. You want to buy a watch? You know what? I do want to buy a watch.
Thanks, Joe. And buy me a watch. Look, my wrists are so empty. Okay, so what's the rest of the story? And Leslie, are you getting me chips and salsa? What's happening? Okay, so
Do not send my fiance to get you chips and salt. No,
Jeez.
Leslie, don't do it.
I asked her
No.
if she could. Wait, why is that bad? She's.
If you want to, fine.
If you want to,
I don't know what I'm doing.
We need a bell.
Okay, so what's the rest
I'll
of
go
the
out.
story?
I'll go out myself in just a
But,
second.
okay, but
I
I
will get you
wasn't
chips and salsa.
I wasn't insulting Leslie.
I will get
Don't
you
act
chips
like
and
I was
I don't
insulting Leslie.
care.
Don't you ever look my fiance in the eye
I love
again.
Leslie. I want to get
Do
coffee.
not look her in the eye.
I want to get coffee with her. She's been so lovely, and we're gonna hear from her in a little bit. Okay, what's the rest of
Nobody
this?
look my fiance in the eye. So when we were stealing it, Rebecca at one point said, maybe we should turn around if they call. We should turn around. And I was like, no, it's funny. Let's go. And then she was like, but he could. And I was like, I know, but
could what?
He could be very angry.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I know, but I want to do this.
No, you planned on something. You're going through with it.
Exactly.
Regardless, bad idea, good idea. The commitment is what counts.
One person was mad. The person who designed the trophy.
Oh shit.
Curtis Parks. You
His
designed a
name's
great
Curtis?
trophy. It was
Oh, you said his name.
amazing. I think it was Curtis Parks, yes. Curtis Parks, you designed a great trophy. It was amazing.
Yeah, but he knew.
But he was upset that we stole the
He
trophy.
knew you weren't gonna destroy it.
I'm sure he did not know. He has no idea. I mean, if a person is crazy enough to steal a trophy, who knows what they'll do with the trophy?
So you're out there.
So who knows? I mean, who knows? Anything could have happened.
Anything could have happened, and thank God it didn't. The trophy is safe with. Exactly, and so we're so happy.
No, it's back. It's back. Dave has it back now.
Dave has it back, and we love a happy ending.
We should probably sing a song about the trophy, wouldn't you say?
I would say, because I know how to agree. Hit it, Steve.
What kind of song?
Oh, I don't know.
Hey,
Steve.
song.
Make it
Yeah.
happen.
Make it happen.
Guys. I was playing softball with the rest, and I was not the best. What are you waving at? Oh, he's too loud? Oh, I see. Did I tell you you're too loud?
Really? Because I would
Victor's
think
Your
too loud.
enthusiasm is crazy.
Victor's very loud.
You think so?
We'll take it down.
I can't hear
Fine,
him.
we're good. We're good now.
Alright.
Our team was disqualified in the very, very first round. Copper Lucas hanging with Rebecca Tripp, and she had a great idea. She was like, what if we stole this trophy? She wasn't very trophy. She wasn't serious, but I took it serious. Yeah, yeah, and we stole the trophy. Stole the trophy. We stole the trophy. Stole the trophy. Woo!
And you know what? You guys like. If you like.
Oh,
Thank
Carly
you
Ann
for coming on
Kelvin.
the show. It's that only see
We
each other
do.
on Thanksgiving. So, Victor, thank you.
You're very welcome.
We're all looking forward to that.
Oh, you accidentally wiped my handshake off. I wanted to make sure you get it. You get away with it.
Gotta make a gif of that.
We're all.
Oh shit.
And you guys, Jax, you didn't get Victor. You didn't pan over to Victor falling over the the light.
No, I
wish
did
you
not.
guys
I couldn't have known he was gonna fall over
You
that
guys,
light.
Victor Bernardo, our resident producer and guest extraordinaire. You can find him at Victor Bernardo. Just Google his name. I don't know his handle. So I'm so excited about our next guest. Who is it, Victor?
That would be Leslie Ware.
no.
She's fantastic.
Okay, no, but
She's
truly,
like
Victor's
a
gonna give
little
me some chips and
tipsy.
salsa, and
So I'll be right back.
And then, okay, so and then, but
Where are you
Jack,
going?
can you give me
Get
some
chips
water?
and salsa.
What? No.
No, you're gonna go. No, Leslie, you're on the show.
You're on the show, Leslie.
All right, so listen, our next guest, she is a fashion extraordinaire. She has written 3 books. That's like loud.
This is terrible.
Okay, she's a fashion extraordinaire. She's written 3 books. She teaches at museums. She teaches at colleges. She is.
Do you want guac?
Yes, I want guac. Victor, yes.
I've never seen eyes get so big.
But I don't want nachos, just chips, salsa, and guac. So, okay, sorry, this is insulting. To
No,
Leslie.
it's fine.
Please give it up for Leslie Ware.
Leslie Ware.
Want to grab your book?
She's great.
I'll get it. Got it?
Jack, don't make yourself useful right
Oh
now.
my god.
Okay, Leslie Ware, we're so happy to have you on the show. People don't know this. Leslie is an unsung hero.
Am I?
Yes, you're behind the camera.
Oh.
She's a set designer. I just want you to know she doesn't approve what I wear anymore because she wouldn't
Oh
have
my
approved
god.
this.
No, it's great.
Really? I'm like, I do squats. So, just a little tidbit about my legs before we get into Leslie. I was a competitive cheerleader, so I did a million jumps, and that's how I got them. And I also used to be a runner.
Nice.
And that's how I got my legs. And I know a lot of people have been, wondering, do I have to work them out a lot? No. Do I have to maintain them? Not really. Do I have flaws in my body otherwise? Absolutely not.
Karen Frog loves their legs. Like from day one, they're like,
I know.
legs.
Okay, enough about my legs. More, yeah.
Sorry. Hey Joe, want to buy a watch? Wants to know how tall are you, Carly?
5'3". Hey Joe, want to buy a watch? How tall? Whoa, can I say something?
Yeah.
How tall are you? Okay, so Leslie.
He's a foot taller. So he's 6'3".
Okay, I'll
He's
do
a
it.
liar.
Wait, but Jack. No, you're
6'3".
Jax. Joe, where do you? Area. Okay, so Leslie.
Jersey.
Can't do it. Sorry. So, Leslie, you're a fashion extraordinaire. There's so many different tangents we can start on because you are all over the place in a good way. You are fashionable. You've written a book. You didn't go to school for fashion, but you work a lot in fashion, which is a story maybe people want to hear because that's great. You work in a museum. You went to BookCon. Okay, where do you want to start? So what do you do
Yeah,
now?
where should we start?
What do you do now? What are your jobs?
So today I was at Parsons, which is the part of the new school.
Ever heard of Project Runway?
Yes,
Ever
Project
heard of it?
Runway, Tim Gunn. I pretend to be Tim Gunn like 3 times a year.
Oh, so you work at Parsons. Oh, that's so much cooler than just saying the new school.
Right?
Yes.
So I work at Parsons, the School of Design. Did not go to school for fashion.
What'd you go to school for?
I went to school to be a teacher. I was like, ew, I like my teachers, which is so lame.
Yeah, fuck.
It was $27,000 a year, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna like
That
stab
is so
myself.
sad. And
I
by
was
now
like,
it's probably 28,000. That's how poorly
like
we.
20 years later.
Yeah.
What is?
So I was like, I gotta go back to school. So I went to grad school for public administration.
Oh wow, where?
So I studied at the same school. I like went to my counselor and I was like, oh my god, like I hate this shit. I'm about to graduate and I'm gonna die. And she's like, oh, we can give you a scholarship
Oh my
for
God.
grad school. So I went and I studied public administration. And that was when I took a concentration in nonprofits. So for 10 years, I worked in philanthropy and nonprofits. And then
Oh.
I was like, I hate this shit
Okay,
too.
it's so funny that you were like, you went to school for teaching and you're like, fuck, I'm not going to make any money. So you went back to school and then you worked in nonprofits.
But I was like,
Woo, you got her,
Girl
Carly.
Scouts.
Nice one.
You got it.
I'm just saying, like, God bless you, but it's if your reasoning for not making, if we're going back to school is not making a lot of money, you don't make any
I
money.
got hired by the Kellogg Foundation, which is like the
Okay.
Kellogg cereal
We heard,
people.
we know.
William Keith Kellogg, Mongo for cereal. And
you
they
did make
hired
money.
me, so I was making like $55,000 at 23 as
That's
like
good.
a
I've never made
consultant
that.
for this cereal company foundation, which was like almost $25,000 more.
Oh,
than what I-
that was like $50,000 back in like 1941,
Yeah,
right?
1941, before my mom was born.
I get, but no, I get it. We were all 23 working like part time at a restaurant, and you were making a lot of money at Cal.
Yeah, and they were
Eating
like, we'll
cereal.
give you benefits and like $55,000 a year. So I was like, I'll take it.
Where was that? What
In
city?
Battle Creek, Michigan.
Shit,
So I had to drive 30 minutes every day to get there.
that's nothing. We live in New York. So how did you get here, fashion?
So I worked there for 2 years, and then I had this really weird breakup where I was supposed to get married.
You were
And-
engaged.
The first engagement.
That's hard.
I'm
She's
called
on her
the
third.
runaway bride.
Are you on your third right now? Or are you on your fourth? You're on your
Let's not
sixth.
talk
Okay.
about it. People love me. God
Yo, I'm
loves
number
me.
3. Yeah. Lucky number
So I had
3.
this like amazing ring, and I was having nightmares because the guy who I was married to was my college sweetheart. Was like, you can never have a cat. I don't want you to grow natural hair. We will never leave Michigan. It was
Wait,
just-
these are bizarre
Whoa.
rules. You will never have a cat, and you have to have natural hair.
No, you can't have natural hair.
What?
He was like, you can only get relaxers. So I was like, I'm out because by
Wow.
the time
Did he
I'm
also like
40
make you wake up at 5 a.m. to put makeup on?
We used to
so-
go to the gym like 3 times a day on the weekends.
You're so skinny.
I was like, I'm skinny. Why are we going to the gym so much? Exactly. So I was like, I was having these nightmares, waking up in cold sweats. So I was like, I need to leave Adrian. So I was like, I went to my boss at the Kellogg Foundation. I was like, get me out of here.
Really?
And
Were
so
you
he
like,
was
I
like,
gotta
wait,
leave
but
Adrian?
listen to what he said. He was like, I'll give you $150,000 to go wherever you want to go in the world.
Because-
And I chose Pittsburgh.
Because it,
There's a lot going on.
I chose fucking Pittsburgh. I could have went anywhere in the world. He was like, I'll make a
Why-
grant.
well, okay, he did. Let's just.
We got
So
that,
he did
please.
this because he really liked you, or knew that you were in
He
an abusive
liked
relationship.
me. He was like, I think you're talented. You're like something. I don't know what.
Okay.
Joe
But
Or
I'll
sounds
make a grant.
Did at any point did he say hot?
No, but we went out on a lot of
dates.
not dates, but when we went to conferences, we would have dinner together.
Let me ask you
I was
something, Leslie.
23.
Let me ask you something. Do you think he gave you all that money to leave because he didn't like you?
I think he loved me. His
He
name's
did, okay.
Bob Long. We still talk once or twice a year. He has all my books.
So why Pittsburgh?
So I was at a conference and I met this guy named Greg. Manager knowledge. I have money. And then I flew into Pittsburgh because they like paid for my interview. And I got there and it was the most beautiful airport ever. This amazing Indian woman named Aradna picked me up.
So you had a great experience. Also, Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol. I was like, I can live downtown for $800 a
Wow.
month and walk to work every day.
They have a cool downtown scene.
Joe wants to know, did you go to Lamont's on the incline? Looks over the river, Three Rivers.
No, but
I
I did
wouldn't
go
said
to
it's
the
good.
Three Rivers. My best friend is in Pittsburgh. Her name's Cleo.
But I just was
I
in
did.
Pittsburgh. I don't mean to make this about me. I was in Pittsburgh for a week doing my show in June, and I did go to a restaurant on the incline. I don't remember the name. Thank you, Joe. Okay, go on.
Pittsburgh was beautiful. I was like, it's on the way to New York.
But why didn't you just say New York? It was too intimidating.
I didn't meet anybody from New York. I'm the only child. My parents are like, we need you close to us. So Pittsburgh was like a very logical
Okay.
thing for me, and so I chose Pittsburgh.
Sky says, cookie!
Yay, Sky! I
Thank
love
you,
Sky.
Okay, so how did you get to New York?
So I was, as soon as I
Shorts
moved
are
to
up my butt.
Pittsburgh, I was like, this is a layover. Like, I cannot be here for more than 2 years.
many twists and turns.
It's so weird. My life is so weird.
Okay,
So
and did you hear the news about the Boy Scouts today?
No.
They all got together and filed like lots of hundreds or whatever of lawsuits and claiming sexual assault.
Wow.
About transgender
No,
stuff?
like saying that
Assault
as
in the Boy
boys,
Scouts?
as young boys, they were sexually assaulted by their Boy Scout leaders.
Oh no, I have a collection of Boy Scout books, which I won't talk about, but there's a lot of stuff about black people and boys and doing weird stuff from the 40s.
Well, we would love to hear that next time, but
I'll bring
so
one.
this.
So I
We'll do a
Why
sexual
am I
assault
laughing?
segment
Oh,
next
my
week,
God.
but so
so I was like, this is a layover. I cannot live here forever.
but what
And-
you just said that you always want to be a Girl Scout.
Oh, so I'm from Michigan. My mom did not want to drive me 50 minutes to like a Girl Scout troop.
Yeah.
And so I never got to be a Girl Scout. And so my master's degree is in like nonprofit stuff, shit, whatever. So I like was
You
like,
say
oh,
master's?
Girl Scouts is like great. And like so yeah, I was in Pittsburgh and then it was like New York hired me to run an automotive for girls about cars.
What? And how old were
I'm
you?
like, I'm from Michigan. My dad worked in the automotive plant for 5 years.
It's riveting, but can we move on to the clothing part?
I love this.
We're
though.
getting there. So listen,
Wait, don't you guys
What?
love an origin story?
Yes.
the
Oh, it's
Girl
not like
Scout
she's fighting
National
Superman.
Office is in the garment
Like the Hobbit.
district.
Listen, we let this guy talk about a baseball tournament. You can do
Yeah,
whatever you want.
some bullshit baseball
Yeah,
tournament.
come on, we love this.
Excuse me. Number one,
Did you?
It's his
I'm
show.
the
no,
producer.
it's mine.
Okay.
It's their
It's
Joe.
her show.
Joe
Okay,
says
they-
never rush two women gabbing. You'll
Ah,
be
Whoa,
dead.
whoa, whoa! Why are you clapping? That's so demeaning.
Yeah. He said gabbing.
Gabby.
I don't know. I didn't hear it.
What are you
I'm
clapping about?
hungry. Did
It's-
you order
No,
my
then
stuff?
let's move on.
Okay, so you got into fashion. Let's listen to this.
Hey, Joe.
So how did you transition into fashion?
So while
And
I was working
everybody's,
at
but
Girl
I was
Scouts,
riveted by your origin story.
yeah, I think so. While I was at Girl Scouts,
I was riveted the first time I heard it.
Okay, so Victor's interrupting. Victor, where's my chips and guac and?
It
Yeah, I
was,
put my
it was
glasses
already been
back on.
ordered.
Okay.
so Girl Scouts is located at 37th Street and 5th Avenue.
Get chips and
So
guac.
every day on my lunch break, I was like, oh, I'm going to move fabrics. And then I would go and there's like Christian Siriano and like all the Project Runway people. And then I would like sit in Bryant Park, which was like 3 blocks
Do you know
away.
Christian Siriano?
Only from seeing him at Moon.
Okay.
I would go to the Bryant Park, and then I just started falling in love with fashion. My boss was like, "Oh, you're our automotive expert. You can't write about anything else." So I started my own blog, which is called The Creative Cookie, in 2008. And I was just blogging about fashion. I was like, "Fuck this job. I'm gonna like write about shit I care about because they won't let me." And that was how it all started.
And so, who hired you for your first job in fashion?
A Jewish
Just so you know, I'm going to be
family.
eating these until you move on to the clothing section.
We're
already on
it.
Yeah.
So after
Christian
being a Girl
Siriano,
Scouts
everything.
for 5 years, my boss came to me one day. To New York in 2 weeks. And he was like, we'll give you severance, you get unemployment, you get Cobra.
So who hired? Okay, now we do need to like move it on.
Yeah.
So who hired you for your first job? For your first.
My boss
job?
hired me. Her name was Verna. And then like I got kind of moved around to some different
But where?
departments.
What? Where?
At Girl Scouts.
No,
So I went,
fashion.
Oh, fashion. So I was working for a Jewish family on the Upper East Side.
Don't eat all of that.
So I found it on Craigslist. I was like,
oh, so
okay.
Craigslist?
Craigslist.
And we got there. And
in
we got
the
there.
gigs section. I was like, after I got let go of in the severance and like had to sign a bunch of like legal paperwork from Girl Scouts, which I'm probably violating right now. I was like looking.
Okay, so great. you got a job. You looked at Craigslist. It said fashion needed.
And he's like,
you were
I need
yes.
a teacher for my 11-year-old daughter. And so I was like, I can do that. I have a background in education. I have a blog. And so the guy, Nick, was like, oh, we've had 30 applicants, but you're the best one. So they said, come up to meet Cassie and her twin brother, Nick. And I got there and they were like,
I was
5
on your side, but now we're knowing people's first names. That's a lot.
black people cleaning the house. There was one in the kitchen, one just cleaning the curtains.
But what was your job?
I had to go through a side entrance.
Yo, I tried to warn you, Carly. It
But
is
what
what it
was
is.
your job? Like
Teaching them how to use a sewing machine. She
Oh,
was 11.
okay.
She got a new sewing machine.
Wait, that's how you started your career in fashion? Teaching someone how to use a sewing
Teaching some
machine?
rich kid how to use a
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, we like you.
It's like a
Go
Kimmy
to this
Schmidt.
other house. Kimmy
Victor,
Schmidt.
stop
Yeah.
eating. I'm doing it. Okay.
I told you.
So fast forward 5 years, you're in fashion and you wrote 3 books.
Oh my
So Cassie got all these. And here we are.
Okay, so you wrote 3 books, and can we eat that here?
Cassie's
No,
now
not until
in
you do
college.
the clothing section.
No, now we're talking about the books.
No, she has a thing of clothes that she wants to show you.
Well, we gotta plug the books. Okay, let's do the.
No, we have to plug the clothes. There are
There-
books somewhere.
This is the book that is no longer on the market.
So we don't have to plug it.
Okay, so what?
There's the book you can't
It's a
get.
collector's item. There's a picture of me.
What time is it? Okay, and there's a picture of her. So you guys, so we're gonna get to your books in a second, but you brought some clothes because we're gonna play a segment called "Wear
Would you
It."
wear
Would
that?
you wear
Yeah,
it?
she did bring clothes. Here you go.
You've won guac and chips. Congratulations.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so would you
Guac
wear
and
this?
chips.
Am
So
I acting weird?
no, you're not. You're
What?
doing
Hi,
the best.
Are
Zubri.
you drunk?
Slightly.
You're
I've
doing
had
the
a
best
1.5
you can.
glass of wine.
So okay, so are these from your personal collection?
So since we've started this show,
Good
I've
night.
been wanting to bring things to you because I'm like I have all these ideas for segments that I'd like to produce and we just haven't had the time. So we're gonna do it right now.
Right.
So I have a bag of 4 garments and I want to know, because I collect weird clothing, would you wear it? And if the answer is no, we'll just throw it on the ground. But if the answer is yes, I want to know where you would wear it
Okay, got
Yes.
and how you would style it maybe.
it. I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell by what I'm wearing currently, but I'm kind of picky.
Okay.
Nathan says, hi, Cookie.
Hi.
Why the cookie? Is that your camp name?
My blog is called The Creative Cookie.
And people know you from
From
your blog?
Girl Scouts, because I was like working in Girl Scouts and I used to decorate my cubicle.
But do people know you from your
Yeah, I
blog?
guess so. Because I had to redo my camp blog though, because I got kicked out.
Why?
I forgot my password, and I couldn't log back in. So
Would
now-
I wear this?
Yes, this is the
Absolutely not.
first. So let's throw it on the floor.
Would you wear this?
No, it's just in my collection of weird bodices.
Did you get it from a thrift store?
No, I got this in Ridgewood. It's actually never been worn. It was $10, but I thought it was so.
Actually, I would wear it. You know what? I would wear it to like a concert, but not normally. Like, it would have to be a special occasion.
to a concert. What concert?
Do you think it would fit me?
I think it's cute, but I don't know how much titty it can hold.
Whoa!
Can I say that?
Yes.
I don't have a lot of
It's a
titties.
technical term.
But let's say if it's my turn to pick.
For food.
I'm not going for food. And also, I think I have to pay for it because he paid for all the stuff in the fridge.
Oh, the
Okay.
beach. It's free.
What the hell
God.
is this? There's so much going on here.
That's a bus driver vest.
Why do you have the fringe tied in the front?
And the fringe is like messed up on a part of it.
This is
'cause it's like
disgusting. Throw it away.
missing-
I changed my mind. I think I would wear the first one. I would never wear that ever in a million years, and I love denim.
Sky
Okay,
said she.
everyone is making sad faces at this.
Sky said she'd wear it.
Yay, Sky! We love you.
Sky, I feel like you could buy it, so $10.
Okay, so this is a no. The first one's a yes. The next one
Does
is
anybody else want some chips?
Yeah.
this weird apron dress.
Never. Girl, what are you doing?
It says cornmeal.
What?
I'd wear it.
Is this an apron dress or is this an apron?
It's probably an apron.
There's a hidden.
The
pocket.
former slave from my family history, I think, wanted to buy this. I couldn't leave it.
It's cute. It's actually cute.
Where is it from?
I bought it from this place in the West Village. It was like $5. And look,
It's a real apron. That's an apron.
it has like a mitt in it.
Yeah, I don't think it's an
Yeah.
apron
A
dress. I
pot
think it's
holder.
an apron.
I'd bake in that.
Self-rising cornmeal.
Jax, if you want any of this, come and get it.
Would you wear it?
No, I would not wear it.
Okay, so we're gonna put this one on the floor.
Sky says it's a no.
Wow, if Sky says it's
Yeah,
enough,
Sky-
Peggy,
It's
what
an
do you
apron.
think?
Give me that
I'm on
apron.
the fence.
I'm a
Depends
chef.
on the
Try it on.
I'm a chef.
Put it on.
Wait, how does this fucking go on? Oh, I don't just cook. I'm an actual chef.
What do you
She's
mean?
got it.
That's my
At a
that's-
restaurant?
Yeah,
Where?
Where?
What restaurant?
Brooklyn. But I just quit. Hold on.
Jax has it on.
Go everybody, guys.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jax also.
Yeah, that is not a dress.
No,
Right.
this
This
is.
is. It's an apron.
Because the back, her butt is
It
out.
covers all sides, so no matter what you're baking, like there's flour spray, or if you know chocolate.
And there's a little pocket inside.
Yeah, you could
No,
put shit
inside.
inside.
Yes, feel. Like,
And it's reversible.
Oh, that the pocket inside. That's for drugs. You keep your cocaine in here.
hey,
I'm out of here.
we don't condone that. Or is that? Wait, what does condone mean? Okay, so
Yeah.
what-
So here's the final. There's like 23 things in my box.
yeah, this is a recurring segment, but what's
Is everyone ready?
Hey,
for
Joanna,
the
by
last
watch
one?
this. She looks like Britney Spears.
Is that good or bad?
good?
Alright, this is really special. I accidentally took it on our recent trip to Michigan. I was like, why is this in my suitcase? It has burn marks in it.
You stupid.
This is a shirt that has been burned.
Wow. It
And
looks
this
like
is-
the Incredible Hulk's girlfriend shirt.
How did it? How?
I bought it at
You
a store.
bought it like that?
I was thinking it's real legit burn marks. Would you wear this?
You bought it.
Is $15.
What?
You can get 3
Are you
aprons
fucking-
for that.
Are you serious? You bought that looking like that for $15?
And I've never-
Wait a
Warren
second,
it.
just a quick question. Did you think my fiance would not be crazy?
Something like that.
Victor was in the Wizard of Oz. And
I was
it
in-
has
I was
burns
in The
the
Wiz,
back.
actually.
The collar is burned. Camp Rock, can you see this burned collar?
Hold it up. Sky says too many holes for her.
Damn.
Sky, come on. No, there's no such thing.
Carly, try it on. They want you to try it on.
Carly, can you
Come
try
on.
this on?
Yeah, unbutton it.
Okay. The buttons are not burned.
Oh, well.
Like, don't you think that's like from a theater production, like a community?
I don't know,
Maybe.
but I was
Right.
like, why is there a burned shirt?
Maybe Zombie Parade. You ever see the zombie walk on the boardwalk?
I had zombie walks.
Yeah, in Asbury Park.
Totes.
Someone said Lime in the Coconut says Piano Man burned the lady's shirt with his impromptu symphony. Oh, nice. 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 It covers the nip. That's good.
No, it doesn't. It won't. Fucking.
Oh, no. There's definitely a nip slip hole. I see it.
This is bizarre. Yeah, it does look like
It's
a zombie.
bizarre, but I
situation.
couldn't believe
Well, I figured you would have to wear it in
Brains.
layers like that, right? You'd have to.
Yeah, you.
I've never worn it. It's just in the box.
That's why I think it was made for like a little boy for like the production of Grease, like,
Or, like,
apocalyptic Grease or something.
Friday the 13th. Okay, so that's today's bit on like would you
Wear
wear
it
this?
or won't.
So this is a yes or no.
It's an iPhone.
Sky said no.
Sky said no.
The first-
Carly said no.
They said it looks good on you, Carly.
Thank you.
Joe said
This
it.
was the only yes.
Yes, I think I would wear that, but it wouldn't fit me. But I would wear it if it fit me.
And then where's the? Oh, and then there was a weird like Woodstock.
Mm.
But
fringe.
somebody wants at home, and you can Venmo Leslie. She'll send it to you.
I'll send this to you for $10. You would have to do some DIY repair on the fringe.
They say with a black tank top, the green will look good.
No, it wouldn't. I don't know who said that, and don't ever say that.
It was
again.
Sky.
Victor, where are we? Like, do we want to talk about Leslie's books, or we want to move
Are
on?
we done? I'm like,
You
whatever.
can have. Oh, you're like whatever.
Okay, then what are the books they could buy?
I just want to say that we're going to talk about Leslie's books. Hit it, Steve. We're talking about Leslie's books. Their books. They got words and pictures. Talking about Leslie's books. These books. They got words and pictures. Words and pictures. Leslie's books. There's Leslie's books.
Ah, very nice.
And we're just like out of their seats because they made him dance before his set. They were trying to haze him.
All right, back to your books, because now we have 3 minutes. So,
Okay.
what are the books they can buy, and what are they called?
So my first book, which is my favorite, is called So Fab, SEWFAB, Sewing in Style for Young Fashionistas. That was the first book I ever wrote.
Ripped.
Writ.
She's an author.
Writ die. Came out in 2015. And then as I was writing that book, I was trying to put so much in it because I was like, I'll never write another book.
Yeah.
And then they were like, this is too much shit, girl.
Uh-huh.
My editor said that exactly. Too much shit, girl. Can you write another book, which is how this one came about.
And this is
But I don't like the title of it. I don't like the ballet slippers on the front. I don't like the skirt. I was like, it's got to be cool. So the third book is called, you cannot get this book unless you pay $28 on Amazon.
And let me tell you, it's worth every penny. But you're not going to make that money.
No, but I get 15 cents a book
15 cents?
Even if it's
That's
on
it?
Amazon?
in royalties.
Even if it's on Amazon? Okay, so
It
whatever.
sucks. I mean, it's like your first 2 books, so you just take whatever you can get to get in the game.
I've been telling her she needs to publish her own book, self-publish the books, so she can
Well,
sell
they're
it when she goes on the road.
returning the rights
I've been
to
telling
this
you that.
one.
I've been telling you, woman.
Do you go on the road? For what?
First, wait, what?
You go on the road for like book fairs and things like
Oh
that.
yeah, people pay me to come and talk about fashion.
Wait, what? How
in their
can I
city.
get that? Because don't you think I'm talented?
Yeah, I don't know why you're not on Library just like Kathy.
Because I'm here, because I chose this. I was offered
But
the
it's
position.
gonna happen. Like all of us are gonna have a really fancy show in like a year and a half. That's why we're doing this.
Okay.
It's practice.
Thank you. Okay, so what's your
And then
third-
the third book is called How to Be a Fashion Designer. It's with a bigger publisher. So Penguin Books is like owns something called DK Books.
Mhm.
Doyle and Kim.
Nobody cares.
Blah,
Go
blah,
on.
blah, in London.
I'm
And
sure
so
that's
it's-
accurate.
That's who my third book is with.
Wow,
It
so
came
what?
out in 2018, and now I'm working on a unisex fashion book, which nobody wants to buy because they're like, boys aren't into fashion, but I'm still
No,
writing.
everybody wants to.
Like I have so many boys in my class right now. Like when I started off, there was
Like non-binary looks
yes,
and
that's
stuff.
what it's
Yeah, that's
unisex,
in.
non-binary.
Are you saying cis boys
gender.
can't be into fashion?
I'm not saying that, but that's what the publishers seem to be saying. But I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna write duffel bags. It's like bows, but they can be for your hair or for like as a tie. It takes like a year to write a book,
Well, I love this trip.
and I cry a lot, and I also like put myself under my bed.
It's
Aw.
hard. That's
It's
weird. That is
hard.
actually weird, and I wish you wouldn't have said that.
Sorry.
They're making fun of you for scarfing the chips.
You guys are really good, and you
Because I'm really greasy
No,
right
I
now. I've
don't
been
think-
running around
no,
the
okay,
Met all day.
Okay, it's okay. Leslie,
Thanks
Ware,
for having
thank you for
me.
being here. We're gonna play Would You Wear It on so many different occasions.
I have a whole box of
I
clothes
can't
for
wait.
you. And some are ball gowns, shorts, hair accessories.
Leslie, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Give it for Leslie. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Leslie Ware. Fantastic. That was Leslie Ware.
That was Leslie Ware.
The lady
Victor,
who's gonna get married to you.
what do we got, right? What do we got coming up?
Oh, we have a wonderful comedian. Her name is Peggy O'Brien. She's going to come up in just a little bit.
And is a little bit right now, or do we have something else before Peggy?
Well, what would you prefer?
No, I would love. It sounded like, but first, it sounded like you were gonna say, but first, we got this.
Oh, we could have a this. But
No, we won't. We
Stardust,
love-
And
Stardust 99 says
Oh,
hello,
Brian?
and so does Mike.
O'Brien with a B.
Stardust
guys-
99 says what?
They say hello, Mike and
Hello.
Stardust 99.
Hi
Hello.
guys. Well, I'm glad that you're saying hello. If you just tuned in, we have an incredible guest. She is a comedian. We're gonna learn all about her. Please give it up for Peggy O'Brien. Yes.
Sam
So sweetly and nicely during this whole time when we've been truly off the chain. So
I have.
Thank you so
I've
much.
been here an hour.
Is
and
it
I gotta
raining?
say, well, it was supposed to, so this is my rain go-to outfit. It is not raining though.
Okay. You gotta say what? Well,
I was just gonna say, I've been sitting here for an hour, but as soon as I walked in and saw you, I felt like, we don't know each other.
we know we've never met.
And based on the first few points you were making, we have nothing in common. No reference points match up. But I was really looking forward to talking to you because you have such a nice spirit. You have like a real generous kind of personality, and I felt like we will totally vibe.
Do you mean that, Maggie?
I do.
Easy, you're going to give Carly a boner.
No, I'm not. But on Thursday's show, we did have someone call me a bully, and I thought it was really uncalled for, and I won't let it go.
Oh, I didn't get that. I got all your exchanges with Victor. as
You're
being-
right.
I was
Because
coming
I'm
out on your
bully.
side.
I'm not a bully. You're playing everybody.
I've seen her at the beauty bar, and she
Oh,
is
thank you,
no joke.
Thank
She is
you.
a very funny comedian.
Such a
Okay.
sweet
You
one.
want some?
And then there's this guy.
Peggy, do you want some food?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so Peggy, you're a comedian.
Yes.
Do you have like a? I always ask this. People think I'm crazy. Like Jack thought I was insane when I said this. No, don't, Victor. Whatever you're gonna say, don't say it. What?
I'm not going to say anything.
He's gonna wait till I
You're
start
just gonna
talking.
be
He's gonna
perched.
interrupt me. He's gonna interrupt me when
No,
I start.
I'm just watching.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
See, I'm the one who gets bullied. Okay, so Peggy, people think I'm crazy when I ask this comedians, but I like to say, do you have a home base?
Oh, places that I perform?
Yeah, like I would say my home base is Upright Citizens Brigade.
Mhm.
Me, Victor's would be Creek the Cave. Jax looked at me like I was a fucking weirdo.
Oh no, I didn't look at you like I don't really have a home base.
Okay.
I can't say that I have one either. I'm hosting an open mic on Mondays at the V Spot though, so I think it's the place I end up most often.
Where is that?
Which is
Oh, the vegan restaurant.
yeah.
Okay, got it.
At 12 St. Mark's, they've got a performance space in the back.
Did you say you're vegan?
Nope.
Okay.
All can perform.
Yeah.
Actually, this would probably be my home base. This is where I had my comedy festival. So
Creek in the
probably-
Cave.
yeah, mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You produce your own comedy festival here?
Yeah, the Bad Bitch Revolution. You should do it next
Sweet,
year.
sweet, sweet.
Both
Well,
of you.
yes,
It'd be
because I'm
fun.
Definitely
I'm an
a bad
afterthought.
bitch. Yes.
No,
Okay.
no, not at all.
So you host a mic. Do you host another show or?
So far, it's just the two mics on Mondays. Yeah, that's not at all annoying.
Hi, welcome.
What?
We don't.
Let's get out of here. What are you doing here?
She invited me back here. She invited me.
Live show. Lots of people just come in when they're not invited. Okay, so how did you get started into comedy? How long have you been doing it?
Oh, I've been doing comedy forever.
Okay.
I started a long time ago. And it's really the only thing I ever wanted to do. But, the reality of living in New York was that I couldn't do it full time as much as I wanted to. So I ended up getting a day job that really took over my life. And did not do comedy significantly
Okay.
for a big chunk of time. And then I was able to quit that job and 3 years ago get back into stand-up. So I've been doing it for about 3 years.
And so do you have like
The
a
second go around.
Do you have like a part-time job or?
No.
You also have perfect teeth, by the way.
Thanks. I got braces.
Well.
Adult braces.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, honestly, they paid off.
Thanks. I wear my retainer every night.
Really?
I hope Dr. Andolino is watching. I want to score some points.
They are
Yeah.
for sure. So, so the past like 3 years, you've been like hitting it hard, but you had been doing it for a while.
Yes.
And you're.
But it's weird because I don't know my my comedy age, you know, because you get a maturity level in comedy
Oh yeah, I don't
when
know
you're in it
mine.
consistently. But because I was in it and then out of it and then in it, I don't know. You know, 3 years doesn't say the whole story.
Sure, but you get to define your story. You know,
Thank
what I mean?
you.
You get to frame your life.
Which is how I would answer your question
What?
from earlier.
Yeah, what
When you were
question?
talking about, you know, whether you should have kids or whether you should have 401k at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You've defined it by living in an interesting city and doing interesting things, and sometimes there has to be give and take to get that.
Thank you for saying that. And
Yeah.
you're right. And you're right. I'm just in a weird part of my life right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, my therapist says I'm depressed, but I won't let her say, like, I won't. She was like, I think you might be depressed. I'm like, we're not saying that. So she keeps on saying, like, I have the blues. This. And are you like a stand-up? I asked that to Jackson. She also looked like I was crazy. Because
Oh.
I'm not a stand-up.
Right.
And it took me a long time to realize, like, oh, I don't have to be, like, people sometimes think comedy, you're a comic. And I was like, I'm not really a comics comic.
Mm-hmm. So, in regards to that, do you answer the question more like I do improv?
No, because I
And
don't.
then that
I
manages expectations from people.
I think I've been like trying different things out. I'd say sometimes I'm a personality. I would say a lot of times that I'm just a host. I listened to this podcast called The Good One. Do you guys know it? It's called Good One. It's unbelievable. You're gonna learn so much. It's a Vulture podcast where every week they interview a different comedian. They play their set, like the joke that the comedian wants to talk about, an hour, like the process in general and how they view comedy. And it's really inspired me. Some people that are just like, because I say I'm a storyteller. Anyway, I'm like, I think.
Oh, good one.
Let me write that down. That sounds totally up my alley.
It's really good.
Someone
She's
says
not-
cool white sneakers. That was culprit.
Thank you.
When you said the good one, at first I didn't understand, but it's like good one, like a joke,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
one.
good one.
But you started with the good one, so that's why.
Sure, thank you for explaining yourself. So I am,
No
because
problem.
because I'm house sitting, they have a washer and dryer, and I know this is like crazy, but this is a New York like desire. I've been wanting to wash my tennis shoes. So I just did, and they are very white, but I've had them for over a year. Okay, so what's your like hopes and dreams of being a comic?
Sorry.
No, I want to hear
About my
more
shoes.
about the
About my
shoes in the dryer. Hopes and dreams. I'll keep this short. I think that because I'm not a 20-something getting into comedy now, I shouldn't have the expectation that something magical is going to happen. I'm also a little bit more of a practical person, and really what I would rather do is get good at stand-up rather than, famous at it or rich.
And is it just stand-up, or are you like also? I would love if the opportunity presented itself to work on a sitcom, like write for other people.
It is so stand-up that it's almost back in time stand-up. It is. I came up in the 80s and I really liked stand-up comedy that I was seeing then, and so for me to get into comedy after that was really mistimed in a way, because it felt like, trends change.
Yes.
And definitely in the 90s, alternative comedy was big, and that was almost, you want to make fun of comedy, you want to tear it down. And I was more interested in just doing it, as I saw it, correctly.
Yeah.
And doing it sort of traditionally. And then things are continuing to evolve, but stand-up comedy and observational comedy, which is what I do, seems to always still be in the periphery there.
Yeah.
So I feel like if somebody does it well, they're going to get attention.
So you're like.
So I'd rather continue doing that than, spread myself thin in other areas of comedy.
So you're super like traditional when it comes to stand-up. So seeing like a lot of different like new types of stand-up, like storytelling or people who get famous because they're part of Queer Eye and then go on a comedy tour or anyone like that. Like, how do you feel about that?
Oh, there's room for everybody, obviously.
Okay,
and if
so-
there's an audience for it, there's definitely a need. But just
Okay.
personally, what I enjoy is a really well-written joke.
Have you recorded a half hour? Do you have anything on Spotify?
No, closest I've come is just the 10-minute set, at a club, just to bring your show. When I came back into it, it felt like I really was starting from square one in many ways,
Mhm.
including material-wise.
Mhm.
Just felt like I couldn't do anything from back then. So it's just been a process of starting up and just finding stuff that people now think is funny coming out of me. Again, not a 20-something.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what the audience expects from me, what they want, and what I can get away with.
Who would you say is your demographic? Like, who are the people who love you?
Good question.
What's their name?
Yeah.
I think, okay, I learned this.
I hope they're watching.
You don't have, it's like, I guess a tool or a technique to, have someone in mind. So my, one person who is your demographic. So my person is probably 30, works a full-time job, but cool, goes out often, drinks, but not an alcoholic, and her name is probably, it's probably a traditional name with a nickname like Danielle, but she goes by Danny. So then,
It's very narrow.
I write towards or perform for Danny.
Yeah, so I guess I don't do comedy. It's so much easier to define yourself as to what you don't do.
I know it is.
So I don't do comedy for Madison's.
Okay, so no,
And
sorry, Madison's.
I probably don't do comedy for Tanya. I think Tanya's fucked out of luck. Most of my comedy. I think it's like when it's been people who come up and say they like my stuff, it's usually somebody who looks like me, my age or older. Somebody who's paying attention, kind of on the ball.
Doesn't settle for a cheap joke. Is intelligent.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily want the lowest common denominator in terms of comedy.
That's me, Lois. I'm kidding. That's
Hey,
Victor.
can I
That's what I
ask
see.
really
That's
question
Victor, that's
really quick?
Victor.
The
So
person is called Lois.
you've intrigued me by talking about the podcast Good One.
Uh-huh.
And if you're okay with this, Peggy, you don't have to do this, but can you tell us a bit that you like, and then maybe talk about what it's about?
Or do you want to perform it and then talk about it, or no?
I'll just
It's up to
perform
her.
it while sitting.
Okay.
Oh,
Girl,
shit,
your phone
nice.
is blown up.
I know. I don't know what it is. Nobody knows I'm
Who's
here.
texting you?
Oh, it's a
William
group
Morris,
text.
they want to say.
Oh, it's a good
Or okay, do big.
It's Lois. She's really down with everything
Yeah.
I'm doing. And it is shticky as hell, by the way, because I was gonna do it, and then I thought, the vibe here is really connecty, and so
Not always.
for me to
Did
do
you see
stand up.
Victor?
The preambles in this bit is amazing.
Well, that's how it happens on stage. I
But
come
Becky
up,
Lee also
I
loves
say,
shit.
listen, I know you want to see me stand up, but and then I pass out some literature and explain.
It's actually a
what I'm about,
protest.
Where I'm from, and
Listen, we love shtick here, though, on Goodnight Tonight.
okay.
Okay, so go on.
The
Sorry.
name keeps changing in this podcast. Oh, is this
No,
Goodnight Tonight?
This is
Yeah.
Goodnight
Oh,
Tonight.
okay. Sorry.
You're confused because it's 5:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. It's really hot in New York. It's been really hot, humid all week. In fact, it was so hot in New York last week that these balls stuck to the inside of my thigh aren't even mine. And the reason that I like that is because I don't think people see that coming out of me. And so it usually gets a big laugh, usually from guys. And it's not, hey, dating's crazy.
Yeah. Is that something you think about a lot or ever or never, how you're perceived on stage and playing with your perception?
Yeah, it's a constant question. Isn't it for you?
Yeah, it is, but it is. And I teach, we were talking about this before the show started, I teach storytelling. And so I always am trying to come up with different exercises for having them know how they're perceived and playing to it or against it, and it's storytelling, there's a lot more room to talk, and
establish your character.
yes, and if you want to acknowledge it or not, if you want to play against it or towards it.
I think that I do establish some sort of character, whether I know it or not, and I like hearing other people's reaction to it, particularly other comics who have a take on it. Like I was talking to a guy this weekend who said, yeah, you're not doing like typical female comedy. You know, you're not talking about sex, you're not talking about dating, blah blah blah.
That's so irritating.
Which is pushing a boulder, you know, which is it's difficult to get an audience into your vibe. But once you push it like over the top of the hill, they're with you the whole way.
Okay.
So there is kind of a, because I'm a rarity, I think that. Have better takes on it than I do. I'd rather go sort of more the Seinfeld route and just talk about everything else.
Yeah. It's oh, sorry, I drooled. It is primarily what I talk about, and it was I did have a come to Jesus moment last year when I'm like,
Did you say come to Jesus or come on Jesus?
I was thinking the same thing.
What do you think I said, Victor? Victor, if you had to guess, what do you think I said? If you had to guess.
I think that you maybe said come to Jesus, and then I wanted to hear come on Jesus.
What about come with Jesus?
Oh.
At the same time. Carly Ann, someone said you are a nacho terrorist.
Right, I'm sorry. I feel like an asshole. Like, is this so annoying?
Totally fine.
But anyway, I had a come to Jesus moment being like, am I the cliche? But then I guess I had another come to Jesus moment. I was like, I actually don't give a fuck. What I do is funny. My audience is specific. And I don't care.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a cliche. I would say you should speak your truth and everyone should, you know, just be themselves.
Mm-hmm. I also feel like
I think I disagree with both of you.
You
Well,
shouldn't
is it
speak
possible?
your truth?
well, he's a man. Mm-hmm.
No. I do think you should speak your truth, but I think that it's imperative that you say it in a way where you can be heard. Like you want people to understand you.
Yeah, I don't think we're
Yeah.
not saying that.
Right.
Oh, but I thought you were just basically saying I do what I do and whatever.
No, no, the audience I think about constantly, it's other comedians. They're the ones that are like, there's the judgment,
Mm-hmm.
right? You just said another comedian, right? Came up to you and said,
Well, he was forming it he was phrasing it in the form of a compliment.
but was he a comedian?
Yes.
And he was saying, you do something different. You don't talk about sex and dating. And as a compliment, that's an insult to a lot of people who do talk about sex and dating. Right? Because he's saying
No.
you're different and everything else.
No,
is the
I
same.
maybe didn't contextualize this enough. He was just making the point that I tend to do stuff that might make it harder for an audience to like me.
Okay.
And then, but once they are with me, they don't see a lot of what I do, so it's probably for the best.
I completely get that. That's actually kind of what the awkward comedy show is about in general. Like,
Yeah, right.
where I cast black comedians who don't do what most people consider what black comedians do.
Which back then was like Def Jam.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't do that either.
I think what I do, most people think they assume I do it. And I do it, and I do it the best, and I'm the best at it.
Where do you teach?
I teach, like, independently.
Oh, okay.
But I teach storytelling, so that's, like, one side of me. And that, I think a lot of people look down on, but I don't care. But my other side that I think people might think is cliche is I host a lot of dating shows.
Okay.
And I play this character that's, like, bitter about love, and it's, like, kind of a roast, and I think I do it better than anyone has ever done it. And no one will be better than me.
I think when somebody wants to go out and watch comedy, talking about dating is critical to just being in New York and, you know, establishing a connection with the audience.
Yeah.
So again, I want to make sure that I'm not insulting you in any
Oh,
way
I don't think you're insulting me at all.
by saying that that's something that happens that I can't do.
Because you're married, and also you probably are drawn to just talk about other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. I mean, I am. In my, like, when I have, like, a half an hour show that's one story, I can explore a lot of topics. But it really does center around, like, a situation with a guy. But it's also because of my background with, like, my family and my childhood growing up, how I perceive love now as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just like, he ghosted me. It's like, well, if I'm honest, he probably did love me, but I can't allow him to love me because of my
you go
relationship.
deep.
Well, I have, like, usually a half an hour to an hour for my shows. And then, but my dating shows are just, like, fun and quippy, and it's almost like a release. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you gonna do some stand-up? Did you talk to Victor about that?
It just seems kind of weird.
Okay.
No, I told her she didn't have to do stand-up.
Oh
she did
yeah,
not
you
want
don't.
to.
You don't have to at all.
But I mean, there are thousands of people watching online. But
There are
I know that they're not in
5,800
front of
people
your
watching.
face.
Wow.
That's a big audience.
What did you say, Victor?
I said, but they're not in front of you, so I get that it's.
It
Yeah.
has been hard. We've had
Seems
comics on
weird.
it. It's hard. Does anybody watching have a question for Peggy about her comedy? What
Actually,
she
it's a
likes?
good segue. We're going to move on to that section of the show where we just talk back and forth with the audience. So,
Okay, great.
so we'll just.
This is like the
I'll
second time I've
I'll
been
come
live
up, Peggy.
streamed.
You stay up, and we
Really?
can just
Yeah.
chit chat.
What
Okay.
was the first time you've been live streamed?
I was at a show a couple weeks ago, and this drunk woman was in the bar live streaming the show against our will.
Oh.
And then she got so unruly that the police came.
Do you want to move up just a little bit, Victor? You want to stand behind her? Is that what's
Sure,
happening?
that sounds great.
You got, and I want to apologize for devouring these chips and salsa. I just like.
Oh my God, you
can't-
destroyed that guac.
I know. I'm sorry. I asked everybody if they wanted some. I'm done with it. You want
I was
some?
afraid you were gonna bite my fucking hand off.
Sorry.
Wait.
Yeah.
Why?
TV show.
I'm joking, I'm
Okay.
joking, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Which venue? Which venue was it? The cops had to come to which venue?
Oh, Parkside Lounge.
Where the fuck is that?
On Attorney in Houston.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was.
Peggy, you
pretty
should come to my open stage.
But then again, when
And
the
let's
cops show up
let's
in an
name of her
open
live
mic-
stream because that sounds great.
Yeah, right.
Oh, watch that.
Any other questions? Or Leslie, do you have a question? Jax, do you have a question?
Or anybody online, if you have any questions at all, we're all here,
I just
ready
feel
to
like,
answer them.
the cops showing up at an open mic is probably so common. I found it odd, but I mean, down on
I've
the
never
Lower East Side,
experienced that.
maybe it happens all the time.
It happens. A lot of incels.
Oh yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
See, the police probably have a code for it. They're like,
What's
another
APT?
5120, we got another woman fucking up an open mic.
Victor, they say you're ready for America's Got Talent.
Oh.
Me?
Yeah, Mike says it.
Why?
Because your dance, your song and dance you did before.
Oh, thank you. I was doing that
You
on
want
America's Got
chips into
Talent
my
when I get to
hair?
chat.
Yeah.
Yes. You're gonna go home and just have a fucking whole fiesta in there.
Peggy,
Oh,
where
sorry.
where can everybody see you next?
That would be V-Spot on Mondays. And then a lot of random places before then, but I don't publicize those.
Do you get free food when you do stuff at V-Spot?
No.
Dang.
Alex, damn.
I know. He's a nice guy, but keeps business and works.
He's a little much.
Comedy
Come on,
Club.
we can all
Yay.
say, we can all say it's a little much.
They said Peggy's getting tortured by crunching chips.
They're doing torture.
I know this whole thing has been crunchy. This is for the ASMR fans out there.
Nice.
Oh, and it's Daddy Stardust.
What's up, Daddy Stardust? How's it going, Dad? Welcome back.
Maggie, do you have like a particularly like horrible story about doing stand up? Like horrible heckler, you blacked out, you blinked.
It was just an open mic, and but yet some guy had been producing it. And if you'd see it, and I'm sure you guys have performed at these kind of shows where it's in a bar, but it's in a they're gonna turn a spotlight on or something. But they didn't even do that.
No.
So it was just like we're just standing in a dark room with like a mic that barely worked. And the fact that a guy had produced this was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
And it was a bucket lotto, so I'm sitting there waiting to go up, and it was just a nightmare. I had to wait for about an hour. So the entire time I was just making jokes, writing jokes about the situation, figuring I would go up and roast this guy.
Yeah.
And I did, like an hour later. And I said, like, I can't believe that this takes two people to produce. Like, there's the guy who wasn't here, was he the one responsible for the clip light? I go, and then he's like, the guy started getting very mad. This is where it turned bad.
Yeah.
Is that he didn't understand that me making fun of him was almost like what comics do, you know? And he was in the role of producer in that comic. And so he was just glaring at me as I was like going to town. And at one point I said, these are the shows you produce? He's like, no, I produce really good shows and good clubs also. And I'm like, what's the lighting situation there? And put like a string of Christmas lights in a mason jar and point at the stage. And he
You
was
sound
just,
absolutely evil.
oh, he was furious.
Is he still around? Do you even know who he is?
He's not around anymore.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Done?
it.
I think that's good because I think people have to be aware. Like, well, when you're doing a comedy show, if you do not say what everybody is aware of, that's a problem.
That, and I
Yeah.
thought every other comic before me had a responsibility to do it, but no one did.
Mm-hmm.
But that should have been a cue to me. But it just was a touchy-feely sort of mic.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of comics.
She's just saying because her mouth is full.
But I also get it. Do you do a lot of mics?
I do now, yeah. Can I move? I feel like
He's laughing at me.
No, you're perfect. You're perfect. I can see right over here. I can see you're
Yeah,
good.
but I can't see you.
Oh, but I'm just gonna be a voice from behind you. You know, like.
I'm gonna be an elbow in your crotch.
Ooh.
Victor, do you have any horror stories from performing?
I do. Actually, I think my favorite story of a terrible, terrible show is I used to do comedy all the time with my friend Colton Dunn. What?
Michigan, you had to dance.
No, that's not the worst story.
Peggy, they say you should eat a chip too and join in.
Oh, I'm full, thanks. I had dinner before I came.
Colton Dunn, who is now one of the leads in Superstore, he plays Garrett, the guy in the wheelchair in Superstore, NBC. So we used to tour and do comedy together, and we were at some college in Jersey. I forget, it's just like, but some college where when you're just starting out in comedy, like this is the college you can get. And it was a bunch of kids who were underprivileged and angry. And so when we were backstage at the show, fight broke out in the audience, just like fighting, straight up fighting. We were like looking through the curtain, and the people were like just throwing this. And then the student events director comes up and she talks to everybody. But the fight is money. You're wasting your family's money. She's like going off on all of it. And she goes, "Here's your comics." And then we go out and we're like, "Hey everybody, you guys like teddy bears? I used to sleep with one." And they're like, "Fuck you!"
Where was
It's
it?
straight up fuck. It was like in Jersey. I forgot what the name of the college was because it was so traumatic. But they were just like straight up like angry. And I came out and I was bombing. And then Colton was like, "Let me try." And then he comes out and then he bombs. And then I started heckling him, which starts to get laughs. And then they turn on the lights in the auditorium, and someone's like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen." And then the show was sketch together. And then we had this sketch called The Origin of Music, where it's like cavemen just like figuring out what music is, where we'd like be cavemen and we'd turn around and we'd like we
The cave.
all the choices, but I went with them because I was like, "You're my boy, let's do this." And the audience was like, "Hell no!" Oh my god, it was the worst.
I love that sensation of like seeing a crowd that you are not prepared for. And just going over your list of like, well, they're not gonna like that. No, that's not gonna.
I hate this.
Yeah.
And then you just do it, and then you're just like, whatever, it is what it is. Yeah.
Wow. Crazy stories. What time is it?
It is 6:59.
You got 1
It's
minute.
6:59.
Wow. Well,
Got a minute to fuck. Well, everybody plug whatever you're doing.
it's Victor's hosting this. He always hosts the show for the last minute. Thank you guys so much for joining us all, our happy little family on Goodnight Tonight. Peggy, O'Brien, where can we find you?
V-Spot, 12 St. Mark's Place, every Monday.
Do you have a social media?
Oh, yeah, I'm on Twitter at MariaSP.
P-O-E. No Instagram. You don't do that.
Yeah.
Victor.
Yes, everyone, you can find me on Yo Mama.
Thank you, Steve. Where can we find you?
Me on Spotify. Single up last week where I did a cover of Rapper's Delight with the voices of Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant.
Are you
No.
serious?
Yeah, that's
The second
And
on
so, what's your
Spotify.
last name?
You have to hit
That's
like
yes.
Siri.
Rapper's Delight Siri. I'm listening to Leslie Weir,
Creative Cookie.
Create, and Jax, our girl camera.
Jax Deloso everywhere.
Everywhere.
With a million followers.
Wow.
Peggy, what is your social media again? Twitter?
Twitter.
It's Notorious
POV.
POV. All right.
Notorious Pilgrim.
And I'm Carly Ann Philbin, your host for Goodnight Tonight. I'm Carly Ann Philbin everywhere, also on Venmo. And I'll see you guys Thursday right here. We go live at 5 o'clock, and we can't wait to see you again.
Episode 10.
Episode 10.
Party time.
Have a good night, everybody.